Hello, and welcome to the Non-Act Nonsense podcast, a show where the host's opinions are just as awful as those 1.5 inch capezios. I am Cat Gold.
I'm Michael Matadomini, episode 6 of
Woo!
the Chaos. We're 6 episodes deep. Oh my God, we're pumping these out.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. I can't believe six already?
Yeah, we wasted 6 hours of our life doing this.
We've wasted way more hours than just six, but okay.
6 hours on air, on air.
Yeah. 6 hours recording every nonsensical thing that comes out of our mouths.
Yes, instead of looking at lines and studying for our next show, we're sitting by our phone and computer and we're recording a podcast.
One of these days, I'm going to post on the Instagram of all the nonsense that we don't put into the podcast, but it's just random stream of consciousness nonsense coming out of our faces. Because Jesus Christ, what a shit show!
If we ever get so tired to the point that we can't go ahead and film something for a Monday, expect a blooper reel episode because that's 100% coming out.
Oh God, we could at this point we probably have at least a half an hour's worth of stuff we cannot air.
Oh no, absolutely. That kind of stuff, and then us just flubbing our words, or Michael Harper's dog barking in the background, or me just randomly yelling curse words into the microphone to make sure it works. We
Yeah,
we have some good footage.
Jesus Christ. Anyway, do you want to mention so this episode is going to be just the two of us, no special guest. However, next week, boy oh boy, do we have a great guest for y'all.
Oh, we have my South Florida starfish, my HR department. We have Jarrell Brown coming on the show. Super, super pumped to have him on here because
Oh my
he
God.
is just gonna rant and rave, and we're gonna have a ball.
I'm so excited. I've known Jarrell for years, and like the chaos that this human contains in that tall dancer body.
hmm
I'm so excited to just talk and
I
record the shit coming out of his mouth.
I know I absolutely adore a human being when I myself purposefully look out for contracts that we are both auditioning for, so I can spend more time with him. Um, he's just an absolute joy to be around. So, you need that, as Grimsby would say, the bright light in a dark world.
You just see his name on the cast list, and like immediately O Fortuna is like playing in your head. Boom, dun, 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 dun. Yeah.
That and then a single tear of joy. But Jarrell will be next week. Today, what we're doing, we thought it would be fun to go ahead and rank musicals. This one is going to be a whole lot of fun. I have a tier list put up in front of us. And what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and talk about musicals and then rank them. The ranking goes God tier for like the most amazing show ever. A, B, C, D, and F, aka get this shit off the stage. So we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna talk. So play along. The link with this tier list will be in the description. We're gonna leave out some of them that we just simply don't know. I'm looking at you, Alice, by heart. I have absolutely no clue what that show is. But
That's
if you
that's
do,
that's written. Yeah, that's written by the guy that did Spring Awakening. It's cute. There's some good songs in it. It's just it's not a heavy hitter.
I've personally never heard of it. So
Really? Oh, okay.
yeah, we're gonna laugh at my non-knowledge of the musical theater world today.
Honestly, Sam, this is either gonna be like really amazing or like really awful, and we'll discover along the way just how fucking incompetent we are.
So here we go. We're gonna start with a hit right here, a chorus
Okay.
line.
Ooh, oh my God. A chorus line. Ooh, I what are you thinking? What's your well, you're about to do it. So like what's your like
So I'm doing
initial
this
thought process?
show later on this year, and
Mm-hmm.
I've studied it. I know it. I've watched the full thing, and I personally think it's an A tier musical. It's not an S tier. Just
I
because,
agree. Yeah.
yeah, I think there's some things in there where I'm like, okay, this can be, sped along a little bit, but it also has some banger songs. And then also that cast is iconic. Like people will sit down and be like, oh my God, you're Al. Oh my God, you're Morales. And then they like, do all that crazy shit with it. So I think it deserves its rightful place in A.
It's an iconic show. It's not, honestly, S tier should be for Sondheim tier. But
Hmm.
no, no. we already see the rating on the wall. That's what's gonna be there. But no, no, no. A chorus line is just so good. Please tell me you've watched Every Little Step.
Of course.
I mean, just like
I put that on for fun.
that is the most iconic like documentary I've ever seen in my
if
life.
if I'm ever feeling sad about myself, I just go to the part where the girl starts singing at the ballet, and then I feel a lot better.
Good girl,
God
Mara.
bless
Good
them.
girl.
God bless them, though.
No, but I remember the first time I saw it, and I just remember like, oh my goodness, just weeping
Hmm.
over the stories these people were telling. It's just such a good show. The choreography is like
It's
iconic.
iconic. Yes.
It's just,
No, every
it's a
time you
good
hear
one.
5, 6, 7, 8, you're like, even if it's in a different show, you're like, oh, chorus line.
You're all ready to go. Like the fingers are splayed immediately. 5, 6, 7, 8. Like
Yeah,
ready to go.
exactly.
It has to be A tier, at least for now. We'll see along the way if it'll shift, but at least for now it's got to be A tier.
Agreed. Okay, moving on.
Mm.
Aladdin.
Ooh,
I only personally think there's one banger in this show, and that's High Adventure. I don't like any of the other music from it. So if Michael Matadomini over here has to go ahead and rank this Disney musical, I'd put it probably in D tier.
oh my God, there's already gonna be people that are gonna be like, what are you talking about? No, but no, I get it. The thing is, the movie is A tier.
Agreed.
The
Maybe
movie
even S
is,
tier.
yes, you know, but the stage show,
They adapted it when they were on drugs.
oh God. I just um I, I would say either C or D tier.
Okay, so we
At
both said
least for
D.
now.
It's yeah, it's going in D. I just
For
I
now, if it shifts up, it's
if we run into cats, then it'll go up. Okay, moving on. Anastasia.
I'm
See, now I'm obsessed with the music in this show. I think it's gorgeous. I think that Anya has like a lot of great solos. And I saw this at the Kravis Center when the tour came through, and I
mhm.
really enjoyed myself. Like I wasn't sitting there like like some other ones, but I genuinely like had a good time with this one. And like the general became one of like my dream roles after watching the show because he's such like a fun, angry, misunderstood character that I think I would want to explore as an actor. So I would personally, I don't think it's an A tier show, and I don't think it's a C tier show. So I feel comfortable putting Anastasia in B.
Yeah, I would agree. Anastasia is another one where it's like I love the animated movie. I think it's got the bulk of the iconic songs.
Mm-hmm.
It's just it's good. It's great. It's just not it's not a chorus line.
No.
It can't be an A tier or S
Mm-mm.
tier.
No.
I think it's a great show. I'd say B tier.
Great. Okay, I'm going to start this one off. This one's the easiest ranking I'll give today. Annie goes straight into F, and it's not going anywhere else.
What?
Annie is an F tier musical. It gives me a headache. I hate all the music. None of it is good. It's terrible. Hot
How
take.
does it feel to be so incredibly wrong?
Oh, this is where it's gonna get fun. Go ahead, try to defend Annie.
Okay, listen. When you are a little girl watching musical theater for the first time, your first dream role is Annie. That is your first. However, for me, it very quickly shifted from being Annie to being Mrs. Hannigan. And Miss Hannigan, you know. But like I remember when I was like in elementary school, like doing It's a Hard Knock Life, like in a talent show and shit. Like it Annie is listen, can Annie be a little shit and be annoying? Yes. But it's a great fucking show.
I'm gonna throw a counter argument at you. You said that every little girl wants to grow up and be Annie, all that kind of stuff, and then it is a basic bitch musical. Okay, you will never find another like school. Like I knew it was a basic bitch musical when Wellington Christian School, when they were open, God rest their souls, was like, oh my god, our biggest production yet is Annie, and we're all like, yay. Like none of it.
Listen,
Oh God.
oh my god. This listen, the the music is iconic. Are you really gonna tell me that like Little Girls and Easy Street, that shit like ain't great?
I would rather sit through Dear Evan Hansen twice without a bathroom break than sit through Annie once.
Absolutely not. We're gonna get to Dear Evan Hansen. That is fucking F tier. No,
I
no.
agree.
Annie being F tier? No, 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 no.
Where are you putting
Annie's
it then?
iconic. I would put Annie in C tier.
Okay, we're gonna make it even. We're gonna put it in D tier because you said C, I said F. It's going in D.
Well, I was trying to be the middle ground and put it in C tier.
I
Fine. You want me to
physically my
wait? You want
thumb.
you want me to you want to say my original? I would originally put it in B tier.
Oh,
You're
oh.
gonna. I would put it in B tier.
You know what? I'll move it into C, and that it was the hardest movement that my thumb needed to make ever in my life.
Listen, if it shifts down depending on like what else we see, then that's fine, But Annie's iconic. It's iconic.
For the wrong reasons. Anyway,
Oh, we're gonna get into a fight. This is where the divorce
I
happens.
have the papers ready, and I ate them with ketchup.
Oh God. Oh my God. Did I ever tell you when I did unifieds in college, they actually had a son. Like I was doing a monologue from that show, not that one. It was a whole separate monologue from like a sub character, like a very small character in there. And but there was a sign at like was it SETC where they were like, no one do this monologue.
It's the basic monologue. Everyone does that. And if that show actually gets put up somewhere, I hope that the audience goes absolutely apeshit when she goes, I ate the divorce papers, Charles. I would lose my mind. I'd stand up and cheer.
I have the script somewhere. Good, it's from Goodbye Charles. It's really hit and miss. I do like the way Gabriel Davis writes, but it's just like it's not the I when I read it, that monologue was not at all what I thought people would be like. This is the epitome of comedy. That never even crossed my mind. So like when that thing became like the monologue, I was like, are you
Ew.
guys fucking on crack?
Oh God, don't even get me. Let's get off of this topic because I could rant about
Yeah.
that monologue all day. Um, Next show, Anything Goes.
Ooh,
I
okay.
adore this show
It's a good
personally.
show. It's a good show. It depend. Here's where I question where it goes, because like some some iterations have like different songs, like the Heaven Hop and stuff like that. It's like, so
Hmm.
depending on like which version we're doing, are we gonna just talk about it like as if it was just the revival that like recently happened?
Yeah, well, we'll discuss revival reasons because that's most fresh in our brains, I guess.
I would,
I'm gonna go ahead and say it's A tier.
yeah, I think it's A tier. I think it's a great kind of like
Hmm.
love story back and forth. It's got that kind of like farce like comedy in it, you know.
Mm-hmm.
It's
Uh-uh.
just fun.
And I know that I'll be playing Moonface someday later on down the line, so that'll that has to get done. But absolutely, I think anything goes as an A tier show. From the dancing to the music to just this, like I love a good
Yeah.
set like that right there. Like when I think of a gorgeous set, I always think of like anything goes, just because of like I don't know the vibes that it gives off, like cruise ship kind of vibes. I love that kind of stuff.
Yeah. Oh. Yeah, I'd say A tier.
Okay,
I think it's below a chorus line.
agreed. But it's right
But
below
yeah,
it right now.
yeah, so, but I put it in A tier for now, you know.
All right, here we go. Avenue Q.
Oh, A tier. A
I,
tier.
I would make an argument that this might be an S tier musical for me. Like this is a God tier musical because like this show, at least in my mind, opened my eyes to like what musical theater could be. Like when I first saw this show, I thought musical theater was like, oh, nice tapping and dancing, like like little, I don't know, how old was I? 10-year-old Michael. And then I was like, oh
Yeah.
wow, puppets fuck on stage. And I was like, oh, and then you get like the puppets and the humans talking to each other. So it's like, grown up like Sesame Street. And I absolutely fell in love with it.
Let me
So,
just tell you the heartbreak that I felt when the production I was cast in ended up getting canceled.
mm,
Like the show didn't end up happening. I that's Avenue Q is one of those bucket list shows. And
yeah.
I'd be happy to do any character in that show.
Hmm.
It is so funny, so fun, raunchy. The music's great. Oh my goodness.
So are we going to put this in S? Is this going to be our first S tier musical?
We'll put it there now. If we have to shift it, we'll shift it
Hmm.
because I feel like it's going to shift to A because
Yeah.
once we get into some of the heavy hitters, there's like you can't compare like Sunny in the Park with George with Avenue Q. Sorry about it.
Hmm. Yeah.
You
Two different
know,
types of shows. Absolutely.
very different, but it's either going to be S or A. It's so fucking good.
Right now, Avenue Q is going to enjoy its place at the top. It's sitting
Yeah.
right there. Oh, okay. So this one, this one's going to be a little controversial, at least I
Oh God.
believe. Beetlejuice. I need to hear your opinion on it first before I completely slander this thing.
Um, Let me just say I haven't seen it live. Um, I'm gonna put it at C.
I am totally okay with that. The set design S plus,
Yeah,
props S plus,
yeah,
script
no.
S plus, songs F.
So I think some of the songs are good.
I mean, maybe this is skewed because of my teaching and my private lessons. Because
Yeah,
the amount
how
of
how many
times that I've had to pull
Dead
Dead
mom,
Mom.
dead mom.
Oh my god, I cannot stand that song. Oh, so that's why I think my hatred really comes from it, because like every younger person wants to sing something from Beetlejuice or from Hamilton or from Dear Evan Hansen. When I'm like, there is so much good shit out there. Please open your eyes. So I
But that's just how it is. You know, whatever the show is that like connects with the teenagers, like that's the thing that everyone's obsessed with when it gets overdone. You're like, oh Jesus
mm,
Christ, let this fucking end. Like, it just it is what it is.
yeah, I'm skewed. Let me see it in
like
person
like
live.
like like when I think back to like when I was in like high school and like middle school and stuff, I'm thinking like that's when like Wicked happened,
Yeah,
and it just fucking took over the world and every fucking and like Legally Blonde. Oh my god, when Legally Blonde came out, holy shit! Because that was like right when I was like eighth grade going into like freshman year. That Jesus Christ. That was so fucking annoying. And like I participated in it. I
yeah,
love
of
Legally Blonde.
course.
But like it's it's just it's just it's one of those shows. It caught on with the teenagers and became like insufferable.
Yeah. Okay, so C tier for Beetlejuice. I think that's a fair placement. I need to see it in
Yeah.
person, and then I'll change my judgment on it. But as of right now,
Yeah,
it's ugh.
same. I think it has some really great moments. I think the music is kind of dead. Like it's so overdone at this point. That's like okay,
Yeah, give it a couple of years, and then
but
I'll go ahead.
it's not overdone enough to be iconic.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. This one has a special place in my heart. This was the first Broadway show I ever saw. I
Mm.
saw Gavin Creel as Elder Price in Book of Mormon.
Ooh. Oh God.
I think Book of Mormon is an A tier show. That's where I think I feel comfortable placing it right now. And it's at the top of A tier, or if anything, it's at the bottom of S. I think that's where I would
Ooh.
place it.
Okay. I my initial thought is B tier, top
Okay.
of B tier,
Okay.
top of B tier. I think it's a hilarious show. I think, it's written by South Park guys. It's going to have some problematic content
Yeah.
to say the least, where I don't know if some of that stuff would fly if it was released now,
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, I
you
haven't seen the
know.
show, and I saw it last back at the. Oh my god! I saw it in Miami when it came to Miami in 2018,
Mhm.
and the script was still the same, but I don't know if it's changed now. You
I don't
know?
know either, but I would for me I would say like the top of B tier.
Okay, I'm gonna put it at the bottom of A,
Okay.
right next to Anything Goes. Because
Yeah.
I would rather watch Book of Mormon than Anastasia, but I would have a hard time choosing between Book of Mormon and Anything Goes.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I think that's fair.
Oh, and then, oh my god, back to back, my favorite musical of all time, Bonnie and Clyde. This is
Um,
gonna hurt my heart, Kat. I know. I already know.
listen. I, there was a reason why it kind of flopped, in my opinion. Like, do I think the music is very good.
It's gorgeous.
Yes. But I also kind of consider it like similar to like Jekyll and Hyde, where like the music's really great. Like don't necessarily love the script.
Okay.
And so it kind of like knocks it down for me a little bit.
Okay, so where are you throwing this thing?
I would say C. That's for me. For me, it'd be C.
It's in Beetlejuice and Annie tier?
I think it's better than Beetlejuice.
Can we just please put it in B so I don't sob?
Can we put it in the bottom of B?
Right below Anastasia.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh.
I just I, there's so much hurt in like your voice. I mean, like you defend it to me. Like tell me why I'm wrong.
Okay, so I did the show back in 2015 at FAU. I did it
Mm-hmm.
with my good friend Bruno Faria, and I was young Clyde. And as an actor back in the day, maybe it's just a nostalgia glass for me, but watching the show as my first like big show outside of school,
Mm-hmm.
um, I was just like flabbergasted at the talent on stage. And, the script to
Yeah.
me back then was like formidable. Like I wasn't like lost, or I wasn't, confused as to where to go and who does what and all that kind of jazz. I think the characters are very well written. Um, Buck and Blanche, the comedy relief compared to, how sexualized Bonnie and Clyde are in this show, I think is a
Mm-hmm.
nice balance. I also love the angle of Ted, the police officer, being in love with Bonnie, but having to know that at the end of the day, she's going to die. I think is a lovely romance arc that isn't talked about enough. And then you have, like Dying Ain't So Bad and Raise a Little Hell, and You Love Who You Love is even a gorgeous number. Like I don't think there's a single miss music wise in that show. Plot, I can agree there are some like holes where I'm like, okay, this can be cut to save some time, but I really just adore everything about it, if that makes sense.
I get it. I get it. I'm so script forward. If the script is not good, then it's just karaoke to me.
Okay.
You know? that it's like it really is. That's how I feel about Jekyll and Hyde. Like I've seen it multiple times, and every time I'm like, the music is gorgeous, the show is shit. Like, and I mean, Jekyll and Hyde is a I think Jekyll and Hyde is trash. To be very honest, the music's gorgeous. I wish it was just standalone music on an album, and not had the show like connected to it.
Yeah, like
But
an
like,
operetta kind of deal.
yeah, if it was fully sung the entire time with no speaking, I would have fucking loved Jekyll and Hyde.
I can
But
agree
but
with that.
but at least yeah, there's just too many like plot holes in the script. Even though the music's gorgeous, that's yeah.
Fair enough. Okay. This one's another easy one for me. Cats is going straight into F.
And this is where we fight again.
Oh, there's one good song in that show. One.
There's a couple good songs.
Eh,
Listen,
defend it. Go ahead.
it's the thing is, do I consider this other than having the narration, like having it be like an operetta and like sung through? I don't really consider like Cats a musical, to be very frank. I consider it its own piece. It's very much a dance show.
Yeah, consider its own piece of shit. That's
Oh my god. Cats was like I think the first thing I saw like when I was a little kid.
okay.
Um and the thing is like the movie trash. The movie
We're
is
not even talking about the
garbage.
movie. Anything that has James Corden's name attached to it will not be viewed by my eyes. I'm sorry.
But you've seen like the pro shot like from the stage show, right?
Yeah.
So like I think that like the show has a lot of value. I think it's pretty fucking iconic. Like it lasted on Broadway for so many fucking years. There is a place for Cats. I don't think it's F tier, though it might not. It's not my bucket list show. It's not your favorite fucking jam. I think there is a place for Cats that's not F tier.
Yeah, the trash bin. Okay,
Michael
fine.
Matterdomini,
I'll be
you
a little
fucking
bit
little shit.
nicer. I'll be a little bit nicer. D tier, and that's the max I'm going with it.
Oh my god. Ugh. I
I'd rather
just
watch Annie.
I just there is no way that you can look at Beetlejuice and be like, Beetlejuice is like so much better than Cats. When you think of like the legacy of it, you really think that Beetlejuice will stand the test of time over Cats?
I'm not talking about legacy here. I'm talking about my enjoyment factor at the end of the day. I'd rather
Okay,
listen to Beetlejuice. Is it iconic, Cats? Yeah, I'm not denying that, but it's just genuinely the farthest thing from my cup of tea that is out there ever.
I feel like if we're ranking musicals, we shouldn't be ranking them based on Michael Maddox enjoyment solely.
We're no, we are ranking it based on the enjoyment of the two of us. This is not a legacy ranking here. This is
I'm
just
just I just think when you think because we've already talked about how iconic shows are, like that we've already put that into our decision making.
yeah, but the iconic part of shows is, at the end of the day, that's people's opinion as well. Like people can think that Book of Mormon is iconic, even though I think it's very well done. I don't think it's like iconic. So like that always differs.
Listen, I'm gonna strangle you through the Zoom call. Put it in the D tier. That's fine. I'll let it go. I just know you're so wrong, but whatever. Move on to the next show before I like have a fucking rage induced nosebleed.
Chicago S tier
A
S tier show.
S tier, yeah. Mm,
S tier show. I think that's the best show that we've covered so far on this list.
yeah. We'll put it in S tier.
Okay.
Chicago's iconic. I would kill to do that show again.
Yeah, that would be a lot of fun.
It, it's just good. It's
It's
just
every
so
number is a
good.
banger. Every single number is a banger. There's not a
Yeah.
miss. I will sit there happily with a big ass smile on my face, and I will enjoy the fuck out of Chicago every single time I see it. So
Yeah. Yeah,
yeah.
put it in S tier. Put it in S tier. Chicago's iconic. Chicago is, there's a reason why it's still there.
Mm-hmm.
It's it's still on Broadway. Other than the fact that the venue is like not an ideal venue for anything else other than Chicago. But
Gotcha.
but no,
Uh,
yeah, S tier for
oh, here
sure.
we go. We're gonna agree, Kat. Dear Evan Hansen,
F tier.
F tier. Let's say it again. One, two, three. F
F tier.
tier. This musical sucks. The movie was better. I genuinely
The
like,
you
and
like the movie?
no. Well, I don't understand the craze behind Dear Evan Hansen. It's uh, I get
I
so
just
frustrated watching this plot, like because this is going to get a little deep for a second, but someone who has dealt with thoughts that some characters have dealt with in this show, and then
yeah.
having our main character just be like, "Oh yeah, I was friends with him," to his hot sister to be like, "Hey, I want to get with you," is the worst plot that's ever been written ever.
It just I've been a person that's dealt with suicidal thoughts. I've lost a person to suicide.
Yeah.
And so I just felt when I watched it the first time, I was like, this is like suicide porn. I don't understand it. I don't get it. I don't think the music is just generalized pop music.
Mm-hmm.
It's not like incredible like writing where I can like give like let it be at least Jekyll and Hyde where like I can understand the music is like incredible and the music like has an indelible stamp on the American like musical theater songbook. Like it's not. There's going to be a lot of people that listen to this are going to be like, you are wrong. It's A tier. Sorry about it. As people that have experienced situations like this, in good consciousness, we cannot put it any higher up than F tier.
No, it was very distasteful. That's the only thing that I took
Yes.
away from it, and I just don't think it deserves any more recognition from our podcast here. I think that's just where we end it. Dear Evan Hansen is a fucking F tier musical, and it's not moving, and I'm
Done
totally
and
okay
done.
with that.
Next category.
Greece. No, jumping from one spectrum to the other.
I think I think it's
It's a good
I
old
think
time.
I think it's above anything goes.
Wow. Okay, that was a little. I got chills. I didn't think. I didn't think it would be going that high. I was okay with it B tier because that's the type of show you can go in brain dead and still enjoy yourself. Um.
Let me put a caveat where I can understand it going into B tier. Let me put a caveat. The most recent updates to the script
hmm.
will be an A tier.
Okay.
Because listen, remember how we got the scripts for a gift
Yep.
from our production? When you look at the original script, the original OG script of Grease,
Canceled.
yikes.
Yeah.
Big yikes. I understand it's very much a product of it's like its time, it's the era that it was written in, but like so I just
Yeah, I agree. I think B tier is a solid landing spot for Grace because there's a million shows better and there are a million shows worse. So I think middle of the pack is okay.
okay. All right. Oh my god.
Gypsy.
Ooh.
I know.
A.
I agree. I completely agree with you. That is
What
such a
what
fun time.
what things do we have in A tier already?
We have chorus line, anything goes, and Book of Mormon.
I think it's neck and neck with the chorus line.
Yeah, I would top of A. Completely agree.
I mean,
It's a classic. It's timeless, in my opinion. And I will always enjoy that show, no matter how many times I watch it.
timeless, funny, iconic,
Hmm.
bucket list.
Agreed. A
Yeah.
tier. That was easy. That one we agreed on. I
Oh my
love
god.
this. Oh my god.
Are we staying married?
I shuffled the divorce papers a little bit over to the right. We're okay for right now. Okay. A newer show, Hades Town.
Mm, I'd say B tier.
Oh my god, we are okay. Back to back agrees. Okay, because I love singing this music in the car. I love watching, all the clips and that they have from the show. I personally haven't seen it in person. That's one of the shows that I do. Um,
Yeah,
I think it's coming to the Broward Center later
I'm
on
pretty
in
sure.
this season, so that's definitely something that I'm going to go ahead and see there. Um,
Yeah.
but as of right now, I don't have many more opinions on just knowing that the music is very pretty and the stuff that I've seen clip wise and picture wise, I think is gorgeous, but I haven't had a full assessment of it. So,
I mean, it's an iconic it's like, it's an iconic story. It's a story that's been told for centuries, The story is, it it's in the cultural zeitgeist for a reason. Um the music is beautiful. I
mhm.
know some people like to say that like Great Comet walked so Hadestown can run. I like Great Comet better.
I do like Great Comet better.
I mean, Jesus Christ. Great Comet was my first Broadway show I saw. On Broadway, not any other tours or whatever.
Did you read
And
my mind, Kat? Because that's the next one we're doing.
wait, really?
It was. I'm not kidding. So let's quickly place. I think Hades Town is a B tier for me because I don't have many opinions on it. Besides, I think the music and the everything is gorgeous about it from what I've seen.
Yeah,
Okay, B tier. Great Comet, A tier.
A tier.
Okay. Oh my God, 3 for 3.
The best theatrical experience. I really want it to take off more regionally. I know it's a hard show to do,
Hmm.
especially if you want to do it the way they did it on Broadway.
Yeah, and you
But
better get
but
your vocal
it's
miss ready.
well, it's not just that. It's just because, it requires a lot of actor musicians. It requires a lot of people.
Hmm.
You want to do it in the round. It just works so it's so I mean like I just remember walking out and going into the theater and like being immersed in this place and like Grace McLean like walked up to my section. Of course, like she is a fucking icon. And I'm just like I was just like shooting heart eyes at her. And I'm like, oh my God. Like talking to us, like prepping us on like the things we have to do. They're like passing out like shakers for the Valaga song. They passed out pierogies to people, like
Yeah.
depending on like what section they were in. I mean, just like dancing everywhere. I went when Ingrid Michaelson was in as
Hmm.
Sonia. And so like she was like, I don't know, 5 feet away from me singing like harmonies for one of the songs. I was just like, holy shit, this is fucking incredible.
Yeah.
Like it was so
It's a good time.
so, so good, so beautiful. Holy fuck, holy fuck, holy fuck. Love that show.
Agreed. Okay, good. Controversial one next.
Mm.
Hamilton.
I think it's A tier.
Okay. See now when you were talking about Legally Blonde and Wicked during your time being the most annoying show ever, it was Hamilton for me. Um,
Hamilton became annoying like when I was in college because that's when it like really became like a thing.
yeah.
But listen,
I do enjoy
my girl,
it. Like I'll
my girl
watch it.
Johanna's in it on Broadway right now.
Oh, shout out. Hello.
I'm gonna make Johanna come on. She can bring her equity chaos to the nonsense. But no, I the thing is, though it though it may be a basic musical right now, kind of like Wicked,
Hmm.
it it has a major spot in the world of musical theater. It did
Yeah,
it like
I
you can,
agree.
no one can deny how much it brought to the world of musical theater. No one can deny what Hamilton brought.
I can agree.
And like when you first see it, it's incredible. It's kind of like Phantom of the Opera in that way. Where like it's just, it's incredible the first time
Hmm.
you see it. And then after a while, once you hear like 40,000 frat boys singing Guns and Ships at a party, then you get a little bit annoyed.
Then you want to find the closest bridge and jump off. So,
but
at the
I
end of the
I still
day,
think it's eight.
Hamilton, yes, Hamilton. I would I was kind of deciding between B and A tier, but the points that you brought up, I was sitting here and I was like, you know what, you're right. It is iconic in certain ways, and I think that it brought a lot of people that weren't musical theater people into the theater world. I remember, especially at Dreyfus, everyone at that school, no matter what major you were, was talking about Hamilton, and it brought not only that, but the cultural impact that it brought in with schooling and learning history in a different way and seeing things in a different light. I think is super super cool. So
Yeah.
I would be okay putting it in A with that background knowledge to it.
Yeah. I'm solid with A.
Heather's. Talk about distasteful. I
I
did this
mean,
show. I know it like the back of my hand. I had a good time while doing it. But I just think that it's tailored to a certain crowd, and it's definitely not for everyone. I enjoy it, but I could see its flaws, and I'm not gonna like lie about oh my god, the music and everything is the script perfect. I would be okay putting it in like B or C, but
I'd put it in B. I think
okay,
it's becoming one of these cult musicals.
yeah.
I mean, I loved the original film with Winona Ryder, like incredible film. It's the reason why Mean Girls exists. Heather's
Mm-hmm.
is the reason why Mean Girls exists. You know, it. I think the musical is. I think it's just fun. Like I mean, yes, there's a lot of like not ideal themes. There's a lot of dark, twisty shit. However, I will say, like, even with all the death and suicide attempts and stuff, it's not as fucking gross as Dear Evan Hansen.
Agreed. Yeah, no one's trying to get with someone's sister. So,
Yeah, no, no, no.
and I'm sorry,
It's not
Candy
like that.
Store is the most iconic song in
Iconic.
musical theater. I'm gonna just throw it out there. Candy Store itself places it in B. Like if the rest of the show was shit, but it had Candy Store, I'd still be like, I think I gotta put it at B.
Yeah, B tier. It's good. It is good.
All right, so we got some back-to-back bangers going on here. Next one, In the Heights. And I'm just going to say, In the Heights is better than Hamilton. For the people who have
I
that
agree.
discussion, In the Heights is better than Hamilton. And I think
I
In the Heights is an S tier show.
Yeah, yeah.
Such a good script. All the songs are bangers. The
Hmm.
choreography, the set. It was something that I don't think has really been seen and has been topped since in that kind of genre of musical theater. Um,
Yeah.
it
In
just
the
it
Heights is
yeah,
iconic.
it is S tier
It's,
show.
you know, it's one of those shows where like if it's playing somewhere, I'm gonna go see it.
And speaking of S tier shows, Into the Woods. Come on now. This whole S tier was made for shows like Into the Woods.
Yeah. Yeah.
There's no
Yeah.
arguing it. It's I think it's the most perfect show out there.
I don't think it's the most perfect show out there. I think it's S tier for sure. I think we're gonna get into the nitty gritty when we start separating what belongs in what place.
Yeah, looking at
That
this
is
now, Avenue Q, it definitely does not belong in the same category as Chicago, In the Heights, and Into the Woods.
Yeah, yeah, Avenue Q. Let's bump that down to A tier.
Yeah. Okay, so right now we only have Chicago, In the Heights, and Into the Woods in S, and I feel comfortable with that.
Same.
Okay. Let's see. What do we got now? Oh, you know what? I'm going to let you take this one away. Kinky Boots.
A tier.
Okay.
A tier.
It's a good
As
time.
much as I love Kinky Boots and like my heart wants to put it in S tier, it can't be S tier. I can objectively look at it and be like, it's not it's not Into the Woods. I know what it is and I
Mm-hmm.
love it and I've done it multiple times and I have such fondness in my heart because I think it's such a wonderful story. And the music is bangers, bangers on
Yeah,
bangers on
killer
bangers.
music.
But and it's just it's one of those feel good shows.
Hmm.
So I would say A tier.
Okay.
I think it's like at the top of A tier. I
Yeah,
mean, I'd
I put it there.
I'd have to look at the whole A tier, but like it's Kinky Boots is iconic. It's
It's
I'm so
saying.
sad it didn't last longer off Broadway.
I agree. Yeah,
I
I
don't
think
know
it needs
why.
to be shown a lot more.
Maybe it was just like a weird time. Maybe that space just like wasn't it, because if they put that shit on tour again, it would just, it'd go
It's
everywhere and everyone would enjoy it. It's just, it's so good.
Legally Blonde. I've done this show. I personally enjoy it. I think it's a good time. It's another like it's I put it in the same kind of category as Grease. Like you don't need to have, a brain to really enjoy Legally Blonde. Um and I
Yeah,
think it's better than the movie, you know. So I think that's pretty
I
rare
don't
in
know about
itself.
that, but I think it's pretty neck and neck.
I would put it in
I
B
put it in B
tier.
tier.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
agree.
it's great. It's iconic. I
Speaking of
want to play pull-ups
iconic,
so bad.
oh my god, yes. Let's get that done. Whoever's listening, the theater gods, let's have Cat Gold please be Paulette.
Thespis, please.
Thespis, we're calling upon you on this podcast. He just joins the call. Hello.
Oh God, Thespis,
Okay.
why do you sound like Sean Davis?
There it is. We got it in. See, Sean? Now you're not upset with us. Les Mis. I know this may sound
Oh,
controversial. A tier. And that was very hard to say.
oh
Gotta go with
God.
my gut.
Oh God, this is actually like
This is hard, but
this is
I
so
gotta stick with my
hard.
gut.
Um,
I saw Les Mis and I went, hey, and that was just that was just I saw the poster and I was like, okay, this is I made up my mind.
um, it's so hard because like I'm really like half and half, somewhere between S and A. Like it's the thing is it it is iconic. It is one of those shows that like Les Mis is never gonna die.
No.
You know, Les Mis will live on forever and ever and ever. It's got an incredible book that it's all based upon. It's been in the cultural zeitgeist for years. There's so many iterations of Les Mis, musical and not,
Yep.
where the story resonates with people in multiple generations. I My gut is saying the bottom of S tier.
Okay, I'll put it at the top of A. How about that?
Okay.
That was a hard one for you to get out. But the next one should be
Uh,
easy, hopefully. Mamma Mia. Here we go again. My.
Listen, I would put it next to Grease.
They're basically the same kind of show. I mean, like you just but
I
uh
love ABBA. I love ABBA. So like,
I saw this recently. Great production. I just cannot stand the show personally.
I it's just
It's like
you just want
mediocre
to.
at best. Like I kind of want to like punch myself in the face sometimes watching that show. But like again, it's like it has its niche crowd. Like you're gonna see people like going crazy for it, just like
The
Grease.
thing
Like
is, it's not a niche crowd in my opinion. It's got it's got the score is by one of the most influential pop groups of all time. The story, it's a
stinker.
no, 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 no. I don't think it's a stinker. I think it's kind of like it's not like a crazy story. It just, who's the daddy is not like a
Yeah,
You
like I can
know,
go watch that on like Bravo or TLC anytime.
you can watch Maury and get that. But
Maury the musical.
but
I'd rather
you
watch
are
that.
not the father. Yeah, no. But
Shout it out. Yeah, yeah, I'm not the father.
the results are in. No, in the case of 11-year-old Stephanie, you
And then
know,
it blacks out, and then it blacks out, and it goes into intermission. It's right there.
you are the father. No, but but mommy is, it's just,
C tier.
B tier.
C tier. I would rather watch Grease, and Grease is at the bottom of B, and I think that's my defining factor. C tier.
Grease is at B.
Grease is in B. Yes. You wanted Grease in A.
Yeah, I did. I forgot we put it in B.
Mamma Mia is in C tier, cat.
Does it? Can it not be at the bottom of B?
You know what? Since you're my future wife, it's the bottom of B. But that's the farthest that thing is going. And if it could get moved out of B, it's getting moved out of B. Okay,
I know how the game works.
fine. Mary Poppins. I did this show. I went into it being like, it's a Disney musical. I was like, maybe I'll enjoy it. And I ended up adoring the show. So, Mary Poppins is either the bottom of A or the top of B.
Mm,
It was one of my favorite shows I did last year.
I love you, right?
Yeah, no. Just say it.
Man,
Just say it. Throw it out.
I just I think the movie is iconic.
Hmm.
The movie's more iconic than the musical.
I could agree.
I I think
I think you just need to do it in order to
are
fully
you,
appreciate it.
are you going to tell me right now that Mary Poppins is better and more the Mary Poppins the musical is better and more influential than Grease?
I would personally say yes. Not influential wise, because like Greece did something to a generation, but also we weren't around when Mary Poppins was, because who knows? Like Mary Poppins could have been that like banger back in the day that everyone was talking about. So right
Yeah,
now with this,
the
oh
movie, it was a banger.
yeah,
But when the
absolutely.
musical came out, it was like, I mean,
Mary
it's good.
Poppins sold though. I believe it was the best selling show that Slow Burn has ever done, and there has to be a reason for that.
Once again, I think you're thinking of just like a specific production versus like when you look at like how it did, on Broadway, how it did.
Well, again, this is personal experience kind of stuff. Like if we were ranking this on how well it did on Broadway, Hamilton's going to S tier.
I I I put it right near Mamma Mia. Sorry about it.
All right, I'm okay with Mary Poppins and B. Newsies.
Some little
Let's.
twinks are going to be very upset with me, and some teenage girls that are obsessed with with Santa Fe.
I'm just gonna say it. Turning something that was very terrible for those boys back in the day into a villain-led ha musical. D tier. I think it's our first. No, it's our third D tier show. I think Newsies joins Aladdin and Cats. Is it fun
I
to watch? Sure, but if you do your historical research, it's not so fun. And I'm a big history
honestly,
guy.
honestly, put it at the top of F tier.
Wow. All right. Okay.
There are three songs. Three songs.
I did it.
That
Are the songs bangers? Sure. Do they want to kill all the, and give notes to all the tenors out there? Sure. But I think just personally, like on a note, I'd rather watch Newsies than Dear Evan Hansen. I think the F tier is just the Dear Evan Hansen tier. I like I personally don't even think anything should be coming close to touching it as to why I put it in D.
okay, put it in the bottom of D then.
Okay. All right.
Like closest to F.
Fair.
Like it's just, there's three bangers and then
Disney
filler.
fluff. Yeah. Next
Yeah.
to normal, S tier.
Mm.
That's where I'm throwing it. And I don't even think you can change my mind.
Mm. I would say the top of A tier.
Okay.
I think it's very close. Like it's super close. There's a reason why it is what it is. I It's another one of those shows where like I do love it. I love the show. I want to do the show. I do kind of question the ethics of some of the treatments that she receives and sometimes the way mental health is handled in that show.
Okay.
I appreciate it showing kind of like the uglier side of things,
Mm-hmm.
but I don't necessarily know if like it's healthy.
I understand those points, but coming at it from a different side of whatever, like everyone is gonna to relate to this show differently, and I think that's the beauty behind it because someone's gonna pick something different every single time they see it. I personally would never miss like a viewing of this show. Like if I know it's getting done, I will be there. Um,
I'll also say that like the music is not like the music is fantastic. I just
yeah,
say that the music is fantastic, but I don't think it's at the level of the other S tiers.
I think it is. I think that's where we disagree. I think it's an important piece of theater. I think it needs to be seen and understood and viewed. Um, and I think that's why it's an S for me, just because of how important I think it is for people to go ahead and see it.
Then I'd put it at the bottom of S, and I think you'll have to live with the fact that probably some other Sondheims are going to knock it out of its place.
That's okay. I
Okay.
yeah, I'm gonna put it in S for now, though, for sure.
Yeah.
Okay. Sliding this thing up, I have fat thumbs, so it accidentally went into A tier. All right. So after next to normal, Phantom of the Opera.
If oh, Phantom of the Opera
S.
S,
Easy S.
yeah,
I'm not even
it's
like
iconic.
there's
It's
yeah.
iconic. I can't. I'm so heartbroken that it's not on Broadway anymore.
Hmm.
Especially if it comes back, the stripped down version that they're doing in the UK, I'm gonna be so upset because the Hal Prince version is iconic.
I
It
agree.
is a spectacle. It is beautiful. I remember seeing it the first time and being like, "Holy fuck, this is good. This is good."
This is
I'm
some
not
good
gonna lie
ass
though.
shit.
I'm not gonna lie though. I went with my dad. He did fall asleep in the graveyard scene.
Oh,
We
that's
woke up
so
shortly after.
rude.
I know.
You hit him. You know those moments where you're like, you go to the movies when you're like super young and your parents fall asleep watching the movie next to you and you're like so offended by it because you think it's like the greatest thing on the planet. Like, I think that's,
Yeah.
you had that kind of
That
moment
was
there.
that's literally what happened with me. Yeah, yeah.
Yep. Like, Dad, wake the fuck up. Like, come on. Okay, S tier. Gorgeous.
Yeah.
Rent. Rent is
S
another
tier.
S tier show. Oh my
Rent
God.
is S tier.
We are hitting banger after banger now. There's no even arguing it. Like Rent is timeless. It's classic. I think it's a gorgeous show. Everyone should do it. all the time, and I want to play Roger. That needs to get done.
Yeah. It's iconic.
Spelling bee. Oh, so it's not an S tier show, and I'm going to be completely honest with myself, and I don't even think it's an A tier show.
I think it's
I,
a B tier.
it's a very strong B. I think it's the top of B. I think the characters in that show are the most well written little fifth graders ever. I think that it's a smart show. I love the audience participation. I think that's like a selling point for me. Like I every time I see a production of Spelling Bee now, like I want to go and just spell because I know how to spell xerophthalmiology. Fuck with me, okay? It starts with an X, people. Like let's go ahead and figure it out. So I think that Spelling Bee is top of B.
Yeah.
Oh God, Sunday in the Park with George, S tier,
S tier. Top of the
S
S tier.
tier, top of S. I wouldn't say top of S for
What?
me at least. Into the Woods is top of S for me, and then Phantom is in a second.
I as
But
an artist, I don't know how you cannot put Sunday in the Park with George at the top of S tier.
it's in the top three shows of all time, but it's just
I am
not
what I
top.
do, which I
She's so
thought you were a part
invested.
of.
She's singing it at me. She's singing it at me. She's using
I
her
just
hands.
I uh, uh, listen, you're gonna have to. I will fight you to the end of my days if that is not the top of fucking S tier. We will
Oh,
sit down. You know what? That's what we should do tonight. After this podcast is over, we will watch the Mandy Patinkin, Bernadette Peters, Sunday in the Park with George, and then you can tell me at the end during curtain call, tell me to my face that that is not the top of S tier.
you know what? I'm gonna leave this section blank for Michael Harper. What's better, buddy? Rent or Sunday in the Park with George? Because I know that he's gonna sit there with his hands on his
Oh my,
chest
wait,
and he's gonna
oh my god,
sob.
you're putting Rent
No,
next.
I'm not. I'm giving this part for Michael Harper. Michael Harper is
Oh,
going to go ahead and enjoy himself, and he can argue with himself as to what he wants to do there. But I do know that Sunday does make him cry, like every other show. Anyways, we got. I'm gonna do one, two, three, four. We got four left,
okay.
so let's pound these out.
I
Sweeney Todd.
S tier.
Okay, I would say top of A, but I'm okay with S. Top of A. Like it can't go any higher. Like it's like budging through, it's knocking its head on the glass. Like I think that's where I would put it at least personally. But
I don't even recognize you anymore.
I'm gonna get flamed in the comments. It's totally fine. So yeah, you know what? Looking at the other ones in A, because Les Mis is in there, Kinky Boots is in there, Anything Goes, Avenue Q, Chorus Line. I would, you know what? I would put Sweeney Todd in S. I'm looking back at these things in A.
Yeah, yeah. Thank you. Thank you for rectifying this situation.
I looked. Waitress, A tier,
A tier.
and that's the top of A.
Yeah.
That is the top of A. I saw that. That was my second show I saw on Broadway. Fully
Me
immersed.
too.
Yes, the whole theater smelled like pies. I like went out of my way to go get
Did
the
you
little
buy
ones.
pie?
Of course I did. I got like the little one in the cup,
Good.
and I was sitting in the back row, literally touching the ceiling, just having a ball. And like I don't know. I
Yeah,
fell in
no.
love with everything. There was so much nonic nonsense going on in that show. Like Dr. Pottimer ripped off the little like, when he's talking to Jenna for the first time and he gets all flustered and he rips the post-it note and like catches it
Yeah.
up in the air like after 5 hits. It went flying
Yeah.
into the audience, like in the first row. And the man dove halfway off the stage and went, "No." And then he turned and looked at the lady in the front row and went, "Can you hand me that, please?" And I've never laughed so hard in the theater. So it's like the little things that like I'll remember from that show that just make it so special to me. But it's definitely top of,
That yeah.
and that right there
That
is
show has a
is a musical that is a million times better than the movie, a million times better.
listen, I love the original movie. I remember watching it as a kid thinking like this is like a fantastic movie. Um the musical, I had a really hard time. So my friend who ended up, leaving this earth a little too soon,
Mm.
the last thing she sang in went to college together. Last thing she sang was "She Used to Be Mine." It had just come out.
Oh,
Like she was working on that song, and within 2 weeks she was gone. And so for about a year, I couldn't listen to that show. I wouldn't listen to it. I refused to. It was too painful.
yeah.
And part of my healing journey to get over the loss of my friend was to have me go see Waitress. She never got to see Waitress.
Mm,
It really hurt my soul that she couldn't go see this show that she was starting to fall in love with the music of. And going to see that, I got myself the little container of apple pie, and I just, full body weeping, you
yeah.
know. And so now it's one of my bucket list shows. I've
Hmm.
gotten called in for that show so many times.
Hmm.
And it's one of those bucket lists, and it's in my opinion, when I can do that show is when I can really honor the memory of Sydney.
That's gorgeous, Cat.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
I love Waitress.
Oh God, how are we gonna top that? That was so heartfelt. Like I'm like tearing up over here. Is this the first time
Oh
I'm gonna?
no, no, no,
Oh
no.
no. Oh God,
Don't cry,
Michael
don't
and
cry.
emotions. I've done enough of that recently. Anyways, okay. So taking a moment. Here we go. Last two.
Mm.
West Side Story.
S tier.
S tier musical. Absolutely.
I remember seeing the national tour. Um, West Side Story is probably my favorite musical. I'll never be in it, and I'm fine with that. You
I think
know,
I have a pretty good shot.
you've got a good shot. I will never be in that show,
Yeah.
and that's okay because I get to sit and watch it and enjoy it.
Yeah.
It's
Good.
just it's beautiful. It's tale as old as time. You know,
Yeah. I even enjoyed the recent movie. I found myself enjoying that one as well. So
the movie is great. I think, but in my opinion, it's kind of like a chorus line where like nothing kind of tops like the original staging.
agreed.
I think that original choreography, it's iconic. It's just, it's such a beautiful show.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Perfect. And to round it off, the one we've all been waiting for. Drum roll, please, Cat, if you can give me a drum roll.
I'm playing it on my tits right now.
Wicked.
Wicked. Do you love listening to that album and hearing that opening song and you hear that one soprano that's just flat?
God bless her.
Sprouting in the
God bless her. And the surround sound in my car now. I'm like, oh, there she is. She's on the left. Yep. So,
God bless, like whoever that is iconic. It
yeah. Yep.
it is it is just it is part of the show,
We need to get her
and
on
I want
this.
it.
We need to get her on this podcast.
um Wicked's iconic. Did
Wicked
you
is
ever read the
iconic.
book?
Yeah, of course I have.
The book is fantastic too. What's based on I'd say that it's either bottom of S or top of A.
I was gonna say top of A.
Yeah, it's I think one day it could be S.
It eventually will be.
It's not S yet.
No. Okay. There is our ranking. Okay, so I'm gonna go through this very quickly.
Yes, yes, yes.
S tier:
Mm-hmm.
Chicago, In the Heights, Into the Woods, Sunday in the Park with George, Next to Normal, Phantom of the Opera, Rent, West Side Story, Sweeney Todd. That is our S tier.
And by the time we release this episode, I will continue
We had so many that
writing
we
each
didn't do.
we're going to continue fighting each other over like the ranking within each category, but once we get that confirmed and set away, I will upload an image in this episode on the YouTube page at least of what our final ranking is.
Yes. A tier: Waitress, Wicked, Avenue Q, A Chorus Line, Gypsy, Anything Goes, A Great Comet, Kinky Boots, The Book of Mormon, Les Mis, Hamilton. I think that's a
Yeah.
solid A tier. I'm not mad at
Hell
anything
yeah.
that's in there.
Yeah.
B tier: Spelling Bee, Anastasia, Legally Blonde, Bonnie and Clyde, Heathers, Grease, Hadestown, Mary Poppins, Mamma Mia.
Listen, you can have as many complaints about, that you want about Mamma Mia, but you cannot deny that it has an important place in musical theater.
Yeah. C tier:
Suck it up, Buttercup.
Beetlejuice and Annie. What a pairing. That is our C tier. D tier: Aladdin, Cats, Newsies. And then our special friend, all the way and dead last, Dear Evan Hansen. And dead last. I mean, like, and it's no story of the tortoise wins the race. The tortoise got run over by a car. Okay. The tortoise is not present anymore. The tortoise is gone. The tortoise lost. Bad. Dear Evan Hansen sucks. All right, enough about that. Kat, what a lovely time
Dear
this
Evan
was. This was the roast of Dear Evan Hansen. That's what this episode is going to be called. The roast of Dear Evan Hansen.
The roast of Dear Evan Hansen.
Yeah. And Ben Platt's ugly cry face. I'm sorry. It's not good. It's trash. I think I'd rather watch paint dry. Like I would paint a wall and I would stare at the wall. I think that's what I would rather do. I think I'd rather like purposefully stub my toe. Like I would look at a corner of something and I'd kick it. Like it would be like that's weird. And I still think those two experiences are above Dear Evan Hansen.
Yeah. Oh, God.
God, I really hate that show.
I remember going to the cast party in New York because I went to go see like Jim Crusoe and Billy Stritch, and they were like, "What shows are you seeing? You got to check out Dear Evan Hansen. It's the best show in town." I was just like, I was on stage with them, going like, "Yeah, sounds great."
Yeah, I guess.
Never heard of it.
And you never will again. There we go. Okay, so thank you for tuning in to this episode of Non-Ec Nonsense. What a
You're either gonna
blast.
love this. You're either gonna love this episode, or it's gonna be your skip episode.
Or we're
no
gonna
in between.
Unfollowed and canceled. It's I would love for everyone to go ahead and debate in the comments of the YouTube video, and then I would also love for you to join us and rank these musicals with the link that we're gonna provide for you guys. Because we're gonna attach it below and play alongside us. Have fun.
If you want to post like your official ranking and like on Instagram and like tag us, we'll like post it on our story.
Please roast us in our DMs. I really want you to just send us some very I don't know, angry messages.
Yeah, we want hateful comments. Please and thank you.
Please and thank you. Send those over. That's a must. All right. Well, thank you for joining us today for an episode of the Non-Ec Nonsense podcast. We'll be premiering every new episode on Mondays. Please stay in touch with us. Give us feedback. Let us know how it's going. Kat Gold, any closing remarks?
I think we've hurt a lot of people in the theater community already this evening. To everyone out there that is like, seething with anger, suffer.
That, and then any fans of Cats, I do not apologize. Sorry.
No.
All right. This is Michael Matadomini signing off.
And Kat Gold signing off. See you next time.
Stay happy, stay healthy.